5 funny phrases within the English language.
So, whether you would like to impress your British friends or you just want to understand what on earth they mean, then this video is for you. Just sit back and enjoy. Not my cup of tea. Is there a more British phrase than this? If something is not your cup of tea, you don't like it. For example, heavy metal, it's not my cup of tea. Paragliding, it's a bit scary, so that's not my cup of tea.
The phrase is from the 1800s, when people would say, "That is my cup of tea," to mean something they liked or enjoyed. The word not was added later, however, becoming the more popular version of the phrase. Indeed, in 1944, Pulitzer Prize-winning American journalist Hal Boyle wrote in his newspaper column, Leaves from a War Correspondent's Notebook, "In England, you don't say someone gives you a pain in the neck. You just remark, 'He's not my cup of tea.'"
Codswallop. Do you have any idea? No, me neither. So it turns out that codswallop is a phrase which means nonsense, and it's a statement to something that is stupid or not true, something that's not correct. For example, you should visit London during the winter. That's codswallop. That's absolutely false.
Where this phrase came from is unclear, although it is often thought that it is because of the cod neck glass bottle, invented in 1875 by Hiram Codd. The bottle was created as a container for pop, lemonade, fizzy drinks, that kind of thing. And to open it, you would have to wallop, meaning hit, the top on the underside of the table to remove the glass marble within. Since there was no mention of the word until 1947 at the very earliest, we can maybe assume that this is codswallop.
Bob's your uncle. Who is Bob? And he's most certainly not my uncle. Well, we use this phrase when we mean there you have it or there it is. So someone might be explaining something to you and they may finish their explanation with this phrase. For example, you need to bake the pie for 45 minutes and Bob's your uncle.
It is thought that the phrase comes from British Prime Minister Robert Cecil, who had given his favourite nephew, Arthur Balfour, the important job of Chief Secretary for Ireland. Now, Ireland was rather unwillingly under British control back then, and it seemed there was little reason why Balfour, who had shown no interest in public office before, would be appointed to this very sensitive role. Well, we know why, because Robert Cecil was his uncle. There you have it. Bob, which is short for Robert, is your uncle.
Sixes and sevens. If you are at sixes and sevens, it means that you're confused and disorientated. For example, I've been at sixes and sevens since they introduced a new filing system at my office.
The origins of this phrase are believed to have come from an argument between two trading companies in London. The merchant tailors, who traded clothes, and the skinners, who traded in skins and furs, were always arguing about who was the most important, both believing that they should be the sixth most important company in London and the other should be seventh. One day, during an official celebration, they got into a fist fight where some apprentices actually died. In 1484, when the official ranking numbers for the guilds were awarded, it was decided that they would both change their rankings every year from 6th to 7th, and back again the next year, which confused a great many people.
Okay, so we know that elephants do not come from Europe or North America, so what's up with this phrase? Well, if we describe something as the elephant in the room, it means that this thing is so big and important that everybody is aware of it, but nobody wants to talk about it. Whilst the meeting with my boss went well, the subject of my pay rise was the elephant in the room.
We think this one comes from the US, originating around the 1950s. The earliest published mention of this term, however, was from the Charleston Gazette in 1952, where we read, "Chicago! Well, that's an old Indian word meaning get that elephant out of your room." No, I'm not sure what he meant by that either, but the first citation in its modern usage comes in the 1984 Tippo and Hastings book, An Elephant in the Living Room, a leader's guide for helping children of alcoholics. As we can see, it's an interesting image, but it is also used within serious contexts too.
Do you have any more of these phrases and idioms you would like us to investigate? Well, leave comments below and we can create some more.
And don't forget to like our video, subscribe to the channel, and tell all your friends.